Now let us discuss about certain solutions which can be implemented. So the first solution talks about data discovery and classification. Certain data discovery tools can be used which helps us identify critical data and non-critical data. So we can identify those kinds of data and give enough importance to security for critical data. The next is data masking. Now, data masking is creating a synthetic version of the data, and that can be used for various other activities like software testing, training, and other purposes where we don't require the real data. So, it retains the data type with the new set of values, but not the original values. The next is identity access management. The credentials, the login credentials, the identity is very important. So, IAM solutions, they allow IT administrator to control user access to sensitive information within an organization. So there can be single sign-on systems. Now, single sign-on system is accessing the system with login and password. Then there is two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication indicates some two levels of login, and then the user can access the system. Now there is multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication considers three aspects. One is who what we know, so it could be login, passwords, pin. The next is what we have, like a phone or anything, so that the OTP could be sent. And the third one is who we are, so fingerprint scanning, face recognition, all these come under the third category, which is the multi-factor authentication. So these are the various ways in which the identity can be managed. The next is data encryption. Data encryption is the technique to from which the plain text is converted to ciphertext using an encryption key, and it is decrypted back using the decryption key. So various data encryption mechanisms can be used. The next is data loss prevention. Data loss can be prevented so that we can and to prevent data loss, we can back up the data, physical redundancy of the data, that is maintaining several copies of the data. All this can be done. The next is governance, risk, and compliance. So this is another technique which improves data security and compliance. This involves governance. So governance, it will create control and policies which will be enforced throughout the organization to ensure data protection. Then the risk involves assessing cybersecurity threats. Then there is compliance, which ensures organizational practice are in line with regulatory and industry standards. Password hygiene. Password hygiene indicates that always strong passwords and non-guessable passwords are to be used. Authentication and authorization. Authentication is allowing the user in, and authorization involves who which user can do what. So all these are to be checked, and appropriate controls are to be in place so that this is allowed. The next is data security audits. uh, the entire security plan needs to be audited regularly so that any loopholes or gaps in the system can be checked. Anti-malware, antivirus, and endpoint protection also needs to be included. Installation of anti-malware, antiviruses, all these will ensure that these software are not involved. And the last one is zero trust. In zero trust, it's a framework which continuously validates the user. It considers that there is no perimeter in the network is seamless, and with that, uh, there is the user the is continuously checked for their validity.